folks, Vitek here from Metal Wani, and with us today we have the guitar maestro, Herman Lee of Dragonforce. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing good, and it's a proud moment for you guys. I mean, for gearing up for the very first best of release titled Killer Elite, the hits, the highs, and the vids. Now, 17 years down the road, the first best of album. I'm sure this must be a proud moment for you guys.
Yes, pretty crazy when working for this release to have to go through all the old material, listening to it again, and kind of think how far we've come when we first started off in the band. It's kind of insane. Time passes so quickly, you kind of forget about it. I guess you do when you have fun, right?
Right, definitely. There are 22 tracks on this, and obviously it's like your entire journey, but I'm sure it wasn't easy to pick out the songs, keeping in mind that you guys have 6 studio albums which you have unleashed over the period of time. How was this process of selecting these tracks?
First, it was to select, of course, the songs that everybody knew, which we made the music video for.
Yeah.
So those are the obvious one. And then it was about, the experience on tour, the reactions of the fans when we were playing certain songs live and talking to them and see what their favorite songs are. So certain songs like Fury of the Storm, or which came from the second album, or Soldiers of the Wasteland, which also came from the second album, but it was a 10-minute song, was a big hit during the time, on tour, and just reading about it on the internet. So it's a mixture of all those to kind of help to make the decision. And after we picked the songs, we picked a few songs from the live album we released in I guess 6 years ago, and the one live DVD we released last year.
So you had all the way up to 22 tracks, and also I believe it's a cool way to showcase the ambition, the diversity you guys have possessed, and all the musical output that has come, shaping the 6 albums which are already unleashed. So you guys have had a great elements of thrash, great elements of speed, and so on. But the offerings which you guys have given to the fans, as evolved as musicians. So it gives a chance for them to really have a look at the Dragonforce sound right from the beginning till a maximum overload.
Yeah, that's right. And the way to order the set list was to, to make it more variety, because I believe the first few albums, they were fast, and it was what it was about. It was intense. And later on, we're able to get different styles into the music, onto the albums. The last 2 albums, a bit more diverse. So it was about, slotting in the songs in the right place so that even someone new to Dragonforce can listen to it without thinking, oh man, I'm tired, I just got bombarded by 50 guitar solos in a row, or something like that.
Right, because it's pretty much evident that you guys are not just about relentless tempos and the solos like you said, but ultimately it's the vibe, the feel of the music that counts, and that's what hits the the heart of the fans. And with this, I feel it's a good chance for new fans, which can really have a great chance to explore the band. Basically, this is something which they might not have been aware of. So here you have some songs right from the first till maximum overload, giving them a chance to basically be Dragonforce fans.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of it's almost like this to unite the old fans that kind of forgot about us the last few years, and the new fans that don't know so much about history.
Right, definitely, I get that. Now, it's been 2 years since the Maximum Overload came out. I'm sure you guys are working on a follow-up. So, anything that's been planned so far in the the Dragonforce headquarters?
I can't say too much about it because it's still in progress at the moment. But we have started recording the new album with the producer Jens Borgren, and that will come out next year around March. So when we're not touring, doing the shows for the Killer Elite, this tour, this release, we are working on a new album. So hopefully, next time we speak, we'll have more information. But it's definitely still in progress right now.
Awesome, man. And also, Jens Bogren, like you said, I mean, he is one of my favorite. Fascination Street Studios is one of the best places to basically record. I mean, have you worked with him before Maximum Overload came out?
No, I haven't worked. I never met him before, actually. I only met him when we started recording the album. It was just from listening to people that I know that I trust in music, and listening to what he's done, kind of made a decision on that. I think the first time his name came up was when we were looking for someone maybe to mix the Ultra Beatdown album, and it was suggested to us by someone working at Roadrunner Records to maybe give him a try. But it wasn't until years later that we finally used Jens.
Absolutely. Now you said about the tour. So what is planned for the best of album? Have you guys planned out anything, any European or any American tour, probably after the summer festivals are done?
Basically, the summer festivals is the tour, and we did Japan before that to kick off, and then we'll finish off in America doing Prog Power Festival and a couple shows in New York City. But that's pretty much it for the Killer Elite, for the fans out there.
Until you guys, obviously,
we can't bring it to India.
Yeah. And obviously with, like you said, the new album sometime next year gives you a chance to explore the world after the album is out.
That's right.
All right. Now, you guys is basically you and Sam have all been about as metal as it can get. I mean, two of you have been huge metalheads, yourselves, and have, love exploring music, and also, it influences you to play your guitars. But are there any non-metal guitarists out there that you guys draw influence from, let's say, when you're writing new music?
Listen to, for example, Eric Johnson. I guess that's not a metal consider. I don't know if it's even considered rock. I listen to a kind of jazzy fusion players as well. Frank Gambale. He's another kind of jazzy fusion. But if it's not metal or rock, the other style of music I listen to are usually guitar based.
Okay.
Yes.
Instrumentals.
It's driven by guitar. Let's say if I listen to something kind of like, say, pop music that is, not very metal, it would still be kind of rocking kind of pop music, I would say.
Right. And let's say you had to choose, like, say, how Accept's Wolf Hoffman did with his new solo album, played his, the guitars over the classical sound. So would you think, you would probably prefer that sometime down the road, maybe as a solo artist?
Me personally, I've never had any training in a classical guitar. So I'm not really a classical guitar player. There are people that do a much better job than me on that. So I'll leave it to them.
To the experts.
I don't think they want to hear me doing that.
Right. Now, one of your favorite band, and obviously mine as well, Babymetal, played at the main stage. Now, that's wonderful that you guys have reached, playing the main stage at Download Festival. Now, metalheads, as you know, are divided when we talk about them. Some say they're cool, they bring in some really different stuff, whereas some say, we don't relate to it. Now, what's your take on them? You've played with them on Road of Resistance, and even, Sam has been there. So what's your take on this entire fan response to Babymetal?
I think metal fans, or generally music in rock and metal, are divided anyway. People that like, say, Dream Theater, a lot of them don't like the metalcore stuff, and the people that like metalcore don't like some of the other stuff. They think they don't like power metal, for example. Obviously there are people that like different kind of music, but it's a matter of taste, and there's no way they have to listen to everything. There's no one is forcing them to listen to it, and the same thing is no one is forcing them to listen to Babymetal. But Babymetal, in a way, the funny thing is the way they combine the music and the show together with metal and the J-pop stuff,
right?
They actually unite people that don't listen to rock and metal into metal. They are definitely, I believe they're definitely a band which is able to influence a lot of people that don't listen to rock and metal and discover guitar music, rock, heavy metal stuff. And I think that is a great thing. And usually it's not very easy to be able to inspire people and influence them into a new style. You really have to do something interesting that never been done before. So Babymetal have done that combination that has been done before. And like Slipknot, when they came out, they were doing something different too. I was never a fan of that music, but I recognize their approach and how good they were doing what they do. So that's the kind of I view it as some kind of same way.
That's good to hear. I really like the way you said about the uniting part, because I completely agree to that. And even when the Slipknot started and where they are now, it's like a huge, the career growth. But when you talk about Babymetal, they're still very young, especially the front girls who sing. How long do you see the future of them in terms of, let's say, withstanding time and pressure from metalheads, or let's say fans in general?
It's really hard to tell these days in this world of the way the music industry and the way the technology have moved the society forward and move in much faster rate. So I don't think anyone can tell. Even a band that you think, oh, this is a huge band, they play rock music that everyone is familiar with. They could be finished and stopping. I mean, I guess Darkness was a band that was catching fire everywhere, and then they stopped doing it for a while. Yeah.
So it's all about time.
Yeah, it's nobody know, and people in bands, their life changes. Sometimes they find something more important than being in a band, and you have to respect that. It's not just about living and dying in the band too. Sometimes people think, oh, he quit the band, something must be wrong. Well, people lives change.
Absolutely, very well said. Now, you guys have been, praised for incredible guitar work, incredible songwriting, but are there any personal goals for you that, let's say, you are yet to achieve as a musician?
I think a personal goal, the way I see it, in terms of musician or as a person living on this planet, just trying to do the best I can and improve my skills in what I do as much as possible. And that really is it. It's not about trying to sell more records and trying to be more famous. It's really trying to improve my skills, and whatever that translates to in the end, we have to see. It's not, it's not like, I would say, a computer programmer. You write something, you finish, and that's what it is. Maybe that's not even right. Actually, that's not really a good comparison. If I'm fixing a car, if I fix the car, it works, right? But when you write music, once you've done it, it can go either way. You have no idea.
Right, definitely. Now, we play a lot of festivals. I see, all the bands united festivals. Club shows are very intimate, but the recent shootouts which happened in Orlando with Christina dying, that must have, that's definitely shocked a lot of people, especially bands. I mean, I spoke to them at Hellfest, and I heard bands being very concerned about the security, especially in clubs, because it's very intimidating. You never know what's going to happen. Now, Dimebag faced the same, Christina faced the same. Do you think that the security needs to be beefed up, or that in case of this, the time might come where fans won't even think about coming for shows because of the fear of shooting?
That is a very complicated thing to answer. There's not really a good correct answer to that. I think it's a personal thing of what you've experienced from your past that's going to change the way you think. Myself, I've met so many fans, and I don't even care. I don't need security. I always say, look, these fans, Dragonforce fans are nice. They're not maniacs. Even just so into it, and I don't want to be seen as someone who's not approachable. Like I got a chip on my shoulder that I need all the security. Right. That's the way I don't want to portray myself to be. And maybe that's the wrong way. That one day I have regrets, but I'm quite happy to go out and sign stuff for fans without having to, without a worry. So it's unfortunate these things have happened, and especially to people that really didn't do anything wrong. It's just really bad luck, I guess.
Wrong time. Definitely, man. Matt, thanks a lot for sparing some time. Always an honor having a chat with you, even though I, really wish you guys might come over here after the new album next year. But again, my trips to Europe has always been there, and I've seen you many times. So it'll always be there, and I'll be glad to catch you again sometime next year.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Hopefully on the next tour, we will make it to other countries we've never been before. India, for example. I'd love to play for the fans down there. It's been so long, and we always, every tour we always go to countries that, there's always a few countries we've never been that we're able to make. So hopefully, that will be the one.
Definitely, man. Thanks a lot. Take care of yourself, and good luck with the release.
Thank you very much. Take care. You too.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.